Yeah, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it. Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So I want to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis, man. You know, the aftermath of the first press conference for Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. You know, Tank Davis obviously stuck around to do some interviews with some different, you know, journalists and different platforms. And I saw this exclusive Gervonta Tank Davis interview where he was signing gloves and just casually answering questions. And, you know, the guy said that, hey, you know, now at this point, you know, in your career, at the top of the game, you know, one of the biggest stars, if not the biggest star in the sport of boxing, has a total package. You know, what type of opponents can the fans basically expect to see you in the ring with? And he was like, all of them can get it. You feel what I'm saying? He didn't really put no specific names on it. And then the interviewer said, well, if I run off a list of names, you know, will you confirm or deny? He said, yeah, for sure. And so he mentioned Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia again. Shakur Stevenson was the first name mentioned. Isaac Cruz, he mentioned him again. You know, Tank Davis said all of them. He mentioned Floyd Mayweather. You know, Tank Davis said, yeah, he'll fight Floyd Mayweather too. And it was interesting because when the guy asked him, who was your toughest match out of all those guys? And he said Floyd. That show you right there, number one, the level of respect that he got for Floyd. Even though him and Floyd done been through what they've been through and they might be at odds, Tank still respect the craft and the, you know, the skill set of Floyd and the mind of Floyd. And of course, he learned so much from Floyd Mayweather, right? I really like the energy that I'm getting from Gervonta Tank Davis. The fact that, you know, he's saying that he's open to fighting all of the guys that we want to see him fight. I think that's big. And, you know, starting with Frank Martin, I think this is a really good start to that. He already fought Ryan Garcia, right? Put on a dominant performance. But start in 2024, I think starting off with Frank Martin is a good start. It's an undefeated guy who's very much so capable. A guy that has shown some promise, highly touted, you know, got a solid foundation and backing behind him. So this is a legitimate fight. And Tank Davis is really giving us, you know, a preview of what he's saying that he's planning on doing going forward and taking on the top guys. And, you know, with Tank Davis, man, I don't think there is no question at all in terms of his skills and ability. Tank Davis literally has everything. He got all of the physical attributes, the speed, the power, the explosiveness, the athleticism, the footwork. And then he got the mind, the boxing IQ. He can make adjustments on the fly. He can outthink his opponent and be crafty if he need to outsmart his opponent and not have to exert so much physical strength if he happens to suffer a hand injury like he did versus Isaac Cruz, you know, or if something else happens to where his opponent is just presenting something difficult, Tank Davis just strikes me as the guy that can make an adjustment and be able to find a way to get the victory. Just like Teddy Atlas explained with Tank Davis, he like a janitor with a ring of keys. And if it's a door that need to be unlocked, he got the key on that ring and he gonna find a way to unlock that door. That's how I look at Tank Davis as well. I just think he can do everything. And I think he can be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, but he gotta fight these fights. You know what I'm saying? He got to go after the, you know, the Shakur Stevenson and then move up, get the Teofimo Lopez. Those are the type of guys that we want to see Tank, the Devin Haney's. I still want to see that fight. Those are the type of guys that we want to see Tank Davis in the ring with. And I just love the fact that he's coming into his own, man. I remember I made a video like 3 or 4 years. I think it was like 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, one of my earlier videos. And it was talking about, this is before Tank Davis turned that corner. You know what I'm saying? It was talking about how the potential of Tank Davis, the truth behind what he could actually be. And this one, he was, you know, really getting into, issues outside the ring. Oh, he even mentioned, speaking of outside the ring, he mentioned he'll fight Earl Spence outside the ring. You feel what I'm saying? If it came down to it, I thought that was interesting as well. That show that mentality. Like, if it's really a problem, we make it happen outside the ring. But I thought that was interesting. But speaking of outside the ring though, this was back when Tank Davis was having issues and, having his career, get tripped up by, dumb shit going on outside the ring. And I think this is around the time when Floyd was like, you need to come train in Vegas to kind of keep your mind off of the bullshit. And I made that video talking about all Tank really had to do was just get focused, man. Clear out all of the bullshit around him and just focus on boxing and start staying in shape year round. And then year after year after year, I started seeing Tank Davis actually show that growth and progression. You started seeing him staying in shape. He wasn't blowing up like he used to be. Tank used to blow up in between fights. Now you see Tank in shape all the time. You feel what I'm saying? You see him always training, always in the gym. And his level of thinking, when he do interviews, he's starting to be able to articulate himself even more. He's starting to really be, he's starting to focus more in on what's going on around him in the sport of boxing. And I think you can see his ring IQ elevate as well with all those things. Interestingly enough, in that same interview that I'm referring to, the guy asked about Tank Davis, like, what was it since he fought Pedraza? Like, how has he grown since then? And Tank Davis said, well, it really ain't been the inside the ring events since I fought Pedraza that's made me grow as a boxer. He said it's really the stuff that he, has been dealing with outside the ring and how he's been growing and maturing as a man, which is in turn made him a better fighter. And I totally agree, because they say a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. And then on top of that, a mature fighter who can think inside the ring, and you take that same wisdom that you learn from outside the ring and you take that into the ring, like patience. You feel what I'm saying? Like, being able to discern, when you picking your shots, different things like that, and just the overall growth to be able to stay even keel and make adjustments inside the ring. I think that's what's, that's what makes a guy like Tank Davis, who already has all of the physical capabilities, that's what makes him 10 times more dangerous. So I just really love the energy that I'm getting from Tank Davis right now. And I think he at that peak. I think it's that time for Tank Davis to really start going on that rampage and showing us that he everything that we always thought he could be. It's time for us to see him, going there and take care of business with Frank Martin. It's time for us to see him in there with Shakur Stevenson. It's time for us to see him in there with the Devin Haney's and the Teofimo Lopez's of the world. It's time. It's time. Take care of your business at 35 and then go ahead and try to go to 40 and see if you can get undisputed. Go for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the big fight, you're going to always have big money fights, because when you're Tank Davis, when you're Canelo, when you reach that level to where no matter who you fight, it's an event now. Now you can go. That's what Canelo did at 168. Went for undisputed. He reached the level to where his name was so big to where it's like, it don't matter whatever I do. So Canelo like, shit, well, why not go chase greatness? I'm going to get a big bag and the people going to come out to see me either way it go. Why not go for all of the belts in this division and become undisputed? There's no reason that Tank can't do that. Now, because when you reach a certain level, it don't matter like all of the other bullshit. Is like, if you want to be great and you want to get paid and have big events, you can do all that shit at the same time. So that's what I want to see from Tank Davis, and I think he got all the potential to do that. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. How did you feel about Tank Davis saying, that he'll fight everybody pretty much? You know what I'm saying? And that's what he looking to do. You feel me? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holla at y'all boys, man.